I asked, will our leaders ever turn their attention to like their actual job, which is in protecting and improving America? And you said over their dead bodies. But are you hopeful at all that changes is coming?
You can't have a limited republic and a world empire. You can't have a constitutional government and a Bill of Rights and have your government be the most powerful force on the planet attempting to dominate the entire old world. There's just completely contrary forms of governmental systems to have. Buckley wrote in 1952 in the Commonweal magazine that because of the emergency of the Soviet Union, Americans must accept a totalitarian bureaucracy on our shores in order to wage the Cold War and prevent the Soviet Union from taking over the world. Well, the Soviet Union is dead and gone. The red flag came down on Christmas Day, 1991. And somehow we still must accept a totalitarian bureaucracy on our shores, even with Obama or Biden at the reins of it all. In order to what? To prevent the Ayatollah from threatening Israel? That doesn't sound like the global threat of Soviet Stalinist communism to me. It sounds far dumbed down, especially when you're talking about a power that, again, we could have normalized relations with a long time ago if the Israelis hadn't stopped us from doing so. And I think American right-wingers know. Conservative sons who went and died in these wars, liberals are no good in a fight anyway. They can monger war all they want, but does anybody think they're going to go and fight? No.
Of course not. No.
You know, the Colin Powell Doctrine said the American people must be united behind any war before we launch it. And then we better know exactly what the exit strategy is, exactly what the stakes for victory are, so we can go in there and win.
He was so attacked by the neocons.
Oh, they hated him for that. And then so W. Bush said, forget the Powell Doctrine. You know what? We don't need America united. We just need the right. As long as the right is all hyped up on let's go and kick butt, then we can do what we want. Then Obama showed that when he tried to get the right to line up behind him and go to Syria in 2013 over that fake sarin attack in Ghouta, they said no. In fact, there are soldiers, these were memes that went around, soldiers holding up signs saying, I didn't join the army to fight a civil war for Al-Qaeda in Syria. And they had to stop. And the American right was not willing to follow Barack Obama into battle. Same for Joe Biden. And I would say it should be the same thing here, and no matter who the president is. This is the era of the phony wars. This is America's attempt to maintain a global hegemony that we should not have in the first place, which is essentially murder-suicide to our own society anyway.
And we can't maintain it anyway.
And we can't.
Even if it was a good idea, even if it was helping us, we've reached the limits of our resources.
Donald Trump himself said in his first few days in power here, he said, you know what, I don't want to pivot from the Middle East to great power conflict. I don't want to have conflict with anyone. We should be able to get along with Russia and with China and with the Middle Eastern powers and just have a century of prosperity. Donald Trump could get on a plane and go to Tehran right now. He could go from there to Moscow, to Beijing, and then Pyongyang, and he could come home and be Trump the Great.